Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another White Star video. Today we will be going over one of our most recent White Stars, and unlike the other video I made, which had some analysis, some terms, and like general overview, this will be less fancy because this wasn't as big of a battle per se. So if you don't know me already, I am Super Munyon, one of the commanding officers in Red Dawn, and I will be giving an in-depth analysis on one of our most recent White Star wins against TOT. Okay, so without further ado, let's begin. So to start off, if we look at this White Star here, right, where do you think is the best solution for our team to win, right? And what do you think is the best way for their team to win? I'll give you a couple seconds to think on it. Now, it is standard practice to always look at asteroid fields, how many there are, and where they are located. So, if you look at the asteroid fields, our asteroid fields are on this side, right? And their asteroid fields are on this side. Now, this map is extremely weird. And the reason why I say this map is weird is because if you look at where level 5 are, they're actually further away than the level 10. So what does this tell you? Well, you see, in a normal 5v5 White Star, the Red Dawn's High Command generally has a doctrine of depositing hydrogen at level 5 planets, right? Because they're more safer, and if we were to deposit at level 10 and we lose our battleships, then we just deposited artifacts for the enemy team. However, this is not the case. And I'm sure Syndra, the commanding White Star officer for this White Star, saw this and knew that they had to win a decisive battle somewhere here, or else you're going to have to result in level 1 planet artifacts. And the reason why, if you don't know this already, the reason why White Star commanders target higher level planets is because, look at the details, 150 hydrogen per relic for a level 10. 300 hydrogen per relic, 500 hydrogen per relic. So that means that if you deposit at a level 10, you'll get more artifacts. So, okay, I kind of went off on a tangent there. So if you look at the map, then generally we would try to mine up towards here and see if we can deposit at 10. If we lose the battle, we have to run with our tail between our legs and go for the level 1 planet. For them, same thing. Well, not necessarily. For them, because their hydrogen is so far out here, right? They might want to deposit level 10, or level 5, they might want to deposit level 1. But there's no way they deposit at level 10. Because that's just a stupid idea. Look at how long this travel distance is, right? So, now you might be looking at this map being like, wow, dude, like how do you have such a lucky map, right? Because everything is towards the Red Dawn's portal and not their portal. But once again, Hades Star does this little trick. Way to look at the players of the enemy White Star, right? Level 160, level 120, level 140, and wait, hold on. Oh, they kicked a couple players after this White Star, so they don't show up anymore. But I'm sure they had higher levels than ours. Yeah, they had much higher levels than ours. Anyways, so they have the better tech and better battleships, while we have the better map advantage. So in the end, things are still pretty fair. Now, you might be wondering why I'm calling this an example of what not to do. And the reason why I say this is a perfect example of what not to do is not because of our side, but because of the enemy side. So let's start the White Star replay, and I'll tell you exactly why. Right here. Alright, you know what? I'm going to fast forward a bit more so they have a couple more ships in. Okay, this is a pretty good example of what not to do. Look at this. Sanctuary, if you take Sanctuary, you're throwing. Like, you just want to lose, man. There's no reason to take Sanctuary in a White Star except for disrespecting your, like, buddies who you are playing and fighting for, right? Like, Sanctuary is basically saying, I don't care about anyone else, I only care about myself and my money. I want my ship to return home. I don't care about my teammates. And see, look at this. For some reason, they decided to mine up here. Wait, actually, excuse me, not for some reason. For a good reason, they decided to mine up here, right? Because they want to deposit level 1 quickly and get back, and so they can grab that artifact. After all, these 2 asteroids are pretty far from their level 1 planet, right? But this is an example of what not to do on a corporation level, right? Because, first of all, you want to have all your members warp in ships the second the White Star starts. Second of all, you want to activate your shields as soon as possible so they refresh as soon as possible. Then you would have more health on your shields while you're actually fighting. So let's continue. We also were missing another player, but that's okay, whatever. But also, this is just hilarious. Look at this shit. Just to clear Cyberus, this guy has to go all the way back home and refresh his ship, and his vengeance activates. Oh, and another very important thing that I've been meaning to say. Vengeance is probably one of the worst modules for a White Star. And why do I say this? Well, here's the thing. Okay, maybe not. If you use stealth, Vengeance might be acceptable. But Destiny, Omega Rocket, Alpha Rocket, any other explosive is better. And here's why, right? Look at the activation required for this Vengeance, right? Vengeance requires you to take damage first, and then you can deal damage back. And it has a timer too, right? So your opponents can see it, and then they're like, oh, he's coming for me. Well, what can I do? Well, they can just teleport away, right? So Vengeance is kind of useless. And there's so many countermeasures to Vengeance that it's completely pointless, as our officer Syndra will show. So here, let me give a very good example of why Vengeance is the worst possible module to take in a White Star. Besides Red Star Life Extender. Okay, look at this guy. He's like, oh, I'm going to get a Vengeance off. You see what they're trying to do here? They're trying to start the Vengeance and then activate Shield, right? But look at what Syndra has. Alpha Rocket, Destiny. So what he does, Alpha Rockets, this asteroid. This guy's Vengeance hasn't started, so he can't activate Shield, or else the Vengeance is pointless once again, right? And boom, dead. Another important thing is that Vengeance only works when when you have a shield up. If you don't have a shield and Vengeance activates, they can just kill you and you're screwed. So, boom, one ship dead. And the other ship still wants to fight for some reason, I don't know why. And boom, Destiny, dead. Vengeance, what did Vengeance do there? Vengeance did nothing. They're literally trolling. And also, look at their miners. What are their miners doing? Like, this miner is just like, oh, kill me, please. Come kill me. And then this miner's like, oh, I'm just going to sit here and do nothing. I'm just going to, like, watch. Like, look, what is this miner doing? And then another example, what is this transport doing? The artifact hasn't even loaded yet. And even, like, let's say it gets there, right? Look at what their battle formation was. They sent 3 ships up here, and they had 1 capital ship down here, right? Like, what is the purpose of this? Like, what is the meaning of this besides I want to lose? Now, if you're this guy, I can't pronounce that, but if you're this guy, what do you think you should do? Take a look at the map. Well, if you said assist your teammates, you're wrong. If you said save this transport, you can't save the transport. So what can you do? Well, you can only attack here, right? Now watch what this guy does later. Now watch what this guy does later, while we first take a look at what this guy does. This guy continues to try to attack, even though he's 1v2. And this guy sits there, does nothing. And his miner is also doing nothing. And then now, this guy has the bright idea of activating barrier, activating Omega Shield, before his Vengeance starts. What does that mean? Well, you're about to see what I mean in a second. What that means is, once his Vengeance starts, he just dies. Because Vengeance has like, I forgot exactly how many hours, but like a couple hours of timer, right? And that's just a huge mistake right there. Like, look at this. Look at their positioning. This miner still wants to go to level 1 planet. And this brings me to another point. What do you think this miner should have done instead of going to level 1 planet? Well, actually, that was a trick question, but I still want you to think about it. Actually, you know what? Let's switch it up. Why is the miner making a mistake here? Well, okay. If you think the miner's making a mistake because you want it should go to a level 5 planet, you have issues. Because there's this ship right here. What is it going to do? Run into that ship? It's just going to end. If it goes here, it's inting once again. But what it can do is, instead of going to the level 1 planet, it could hopscotch, like go to this asteroid, go to that asteroid, go there, right? Red Dawn Doctrine states that we should never take long distance travels in white stars because the enemy can adjust to in their time machine, right? And adjust their movements so that they just exactly counters yours, right? So never take long jumps, only take short jumps and program them into white star. And look at what happens. Well, he goes and he dies. He just dies. What a stupid idea. And then this guy activates shield once again before vengeance starts. Watch what that means. It means he just dies. Like, sure, he could have EMP'd, wouldn't have saved him. He just dies anyway. And this guy, I don't know what he's doing. Like, at this point, they're just completely in disarray. They're just literally trolling. And then, okay, let's look at this. Now, once again, don't go long distance ever. Emphasis on ever. Long distance, I see that. We warp in a corporation flagship, move recoil all the way over there with it sped up by time warp, and boom, 1 kill. And then their other transport, seeing that our flagship is already there, decides to continue going. I don't know what he's thinking. He could teleport too, but no. He's gonna run right into the flagship and die. And our troops all make it safely back home. If we count the losses, we lost nothing, and they lost at least, I think they lost 4 ships and 5 transports. And that's the replay over. Okay, so in this video, or in this recording session so far, I have talked a lot about what the enemy has done horribly. And I want to talk a little bit about what our side has done well, right? What our commanding officer, Syndra, has done in this White Star. So let's take a look. First of all, modules. Everyone does not have Sanctuary. Okay, this one miner has Sanctuary, but and this other miner has Sanctuary. But miner's Sanctuary doesn't matter because 1 time warp or 2 time warps is all it takes to permanently time warp, right? And then another good decision is to have the passive shield clear the Cyberus, right? Because the passive shield can regenerate really quickly, and have the Omega shield clear little guys. And so let's fast forward a bit more. Another ship comes in. Where's Syndra's ship? Hold on. I think he might have came in a bit late. Yeah, he came in a bit late, but I want to teach everyone a trick here. Before you warp into White Star, you can activate Omega Shield and wait maybe 1 minute or so. This way, when you're fighting, the shield becomes 1 hour until the shield burns out, right? But the thing is, once the shield burns out, you can activate. Well, once the timer runs out, you can activate again and instant another shield. So what that means is, this ship has 23,000 HP, but potentially it could literally have 37,000 HP compared to 23,000. So that is super helpful in fights, and has won Red Dawn many battles, right? And another good decision making here is he sees that the asteroids are about to be mined out, so he moves his miner a bit ahead of the other ones, right? Because he wants the other ones to continue mining instead of traveling with his time warp. But once again, another perfect decision. Why do I say perfect? He looks at this field, right? Look at the enemy. Looks at the enemy ships. 1, 2, 3, 4. Their fifth guy was missing, and sees that one ship has to go home. One ship wasted teleport. They all have Vengeance Sanctuary. He literally messaged me somewhere in between. He was like, "Yo, Super Munion, like these guys are horrible." But yeah, let's look at what he does. See this? He splits 2 miners right here off to go to the level 1 planet, just in case, for some miraculous reason, we lost a war, or lost a battle. And then he has 2 miners go for the level 10 planet to deposit max hydrogen. Wait, hold on. Okay, I was wrong. He sent 1 miner to level 10. But that's still the same strategy, right? That's still based off the same strategies. Have something to fall back to and have something to fight for. That's often a very good strategy. And this battle was perfectly coordinated, right? He knew what they were doing. He knew their weaknesses and just took pure advantage of it. Once again, Harem did a good job getting that transport. Yeah, and then where is the battle won? Well, the battle is won right here by Syndra. Once these ships are dead and that ship fights, this side is completely exposed. These guys can just push forward and destroy them. In the last video, I said, if you're attacking and you're going all in attacking, you can't outnumber them 4 to 3. You can't outnumber them 3 to 2. You can only outnumber them 2 to 1 to be successful, or like 5 to 3, or not even 5 to 3, like 4 to 2, 6 to 3, 8 to 4, right? Because defense has so many more options. Look at the resupply lines. Okay, there's no such thing as supply, but imagine if there was supply lines, right? Basically reinforcements. Look how far Syndra has to travel to reinforce. Look how far they have to travel to enforce. They're TP distance away, while Syndra has to walk, or has to fly, quote unquote. Like, at least, what? I'm guessing 16 to 18 hours. So, but once again, this guy makes another mistake here. He dies. And free reign over their side. This is just over for them. And then the White Star is pretty self-explanatory. If you look at our transports, except for relic drones, which we can't control, they're always hopscotching. They're always going from one asteroid to another. See, look, asteroid to another, right? This way, the enemy can't predict what's gonna happen. Then everyone makes it back home safely and done. 0 losses. If you look at the damage charts, Sky's End did no damage. But he came in too late. He came in like on the 4th day or something. And then if you look at their damage charts, oh right, like, yeah, look at this. This is just pathetic. 2 of the guys left, I think. They didn't get kicked, they left. And then 1 guy was AFK or something. And then, yeah. So, that's what, those are all the good things that we done. Good job, Syndra. And what did we learn? Well, we learned that, first of all, you need to warp in your ships before as soon as possible, right? But not so soon that the enemy knows your modules, right? So warp in at around the end of preparation period. And then another thing is keep in mind asteroids, where they're located. And another thing is take small hops between asteroids to see this ship goes to asteroid first, then goes to that asteroid, right? Instead of just going directly. This allows you time to adjust, doesn't throws your enemies off, etc., etc. Keep in mind the enemy position, keep in mind your own position, keep in mind the map positioning of where the planets and asteroids are. And the final thing we learned was that don't have a don't have a fifth member that doesn't come. That would be sad. So, yeah. Anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you had a good time and learned a lot, and I'll see you in the next video when Red Dawn inevitably wins another white star. Thank you.